Well, friends, welcome back. It's Thursday, November 27th. That's right, it's Thanksgiving Day. Indeed, it is. Now, while you're watching this video, I am currently not here in the time cave. I am somewhere else. I'm inside cooking with my lady. That's right, I'm spending Thanksgiving with a very special woman. And thankfully, her schedule coincided with mine, so we decided to do just a nice couple's Thanksgiving, just the two of us. And I know we're enjoying it currently. However, this video is pre-recorded. That's right, it is. I knew I was going to get very busy Wednesday and Thursday, so I'm out here on a Tuesday making this for you guys. That's right. So we're burning our little 17 Rayo. Our big old D-Lite 1913 generation with the top lift design and this beautiful amber D-Lite globe. Yeah, that's a good one. So I thought, wear a little burgundy here and some green, and you got all the autumn colors here present and represented. I thought that's a nice touch for our Thanksgiving Day content. The shirt is a kind of a fun one. Look at that patch on there. See that? Yeah, Pacific Electric. Now, when I was born in a house down in Mayflower that was just, feet away from the old PE, right away there, going through Monrovia, the Monrovia division there. The tracks were long gone. It was just a memory for a lot of people, but it originally would have went right down Olive, and my house was just between Olive and Chestnut on Mayflower, so it was just right there. We would have heard it. If I was born in that era, I would have heard it all the time. Yep. So you could say I was born just right next to a right-of-way of the Pacific Electric, the red cars. That's right. Even though I was born way too late for them. But I have ridden actual red car equipment at the Southern California Railroad Museum in Lake Perris, California. Previously known as the Orange Empire Railroad Museum. Been going out there for a long time. And they have some magnificent equipment. They do. They do have some great stuff out there. So anyone local or, make time and go and visit that museum if you want to experience red car history or Los Angeles Railway history too. But Thanksgiving, it's an interesting holiday, especially in this day and age, and as we are commemorating and recognizing a certain event of history, it's more so now just a good reason to get together and have a meal. Now, growing up, it was, there was crafts that we made as kids in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and, with turkeys and, dried corn and all that stuff. There was definitely a Native American aspect to the holiday. Now, that's because the first Thanksgiving is commemorating the first meal between the Puritans and the Native Americans, Plymouth Rock, the Mayflower, and everything like that. Of course, there's a lot of myth and a lot of folklore that are wrapped around that event that may or may not be entirely true. And there's a lack of actual authentic history that wasn't very well documented to my understanding. So a lot of myth has become fact. And people on all sides of the aisle can have opinions about it, and but the thing that I take away from all of that, from the very first Thanksgiving, if you will, is people from different backgrounds with differences coming together to share a meal and putting those differences aside. That's what I gain. That's what I look at. That's what I recognize. Now today, in this day and age, we have politics is a very powerful thing. It's broke up families and relationships and friendships, because there's a lot of people that don't want to tolerate a difference of opinion or a difference of political persuasion or outlook on things. And and that's their decision. It's America. You have the right to do that. And I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't or you should. But maybe I will offer something to think about for those who are that tenacious about things. And, well, from my personal standpoint here in the Time Cave, I've spent a lot of time out here mulling things over and, getting to know myself more, ever since 2023. And I realized that a lot of things that we tend to feel very, passionate about either current events or politics, they're really specific only to this world. They only mean something to this world. Outside of this world, they mean very little, if nothing at all. That's right. The political persuasions and ideas and values that we share, on whatever side of the aisle they may be, they're very temporal. And they don't extend this world. They don't go beyond it. They really don't. And that's where I've come to understand and feel about a lot of things of this world. And what's important to me are the people that I know, that I associate with and surround myself with. And sure, they have difference of opinions on things that I differ on, or that I feel important. But I'm not trying to make anybody believe what I believe or feel the way I feel about things. And I know that they wouldn't appreciate that. And for the most part, they don't try to make me follow their ideas or affiliations. But some of us are mature and we're from the different generation, and we still hold to the agree to disagree philosophy, and that's sadly become very rare today. I value different things now. My passions and my ideas of things, what I value, what I feel is important in my life is much different than maybe it was 10 years ago. And I know a lot of people that are coming to that point. They are. And at one time I used to be out here with a lot of different guys from different backgrounds. We'd all have our cigars and we'd all carry on and talk about a lot of different things. And there was people from all different sides of the aisle. And we'd all have conversations, and things would get energetic, I would say, but not mean. Things would not get mean or mean-spirited, but it would get energetic. I'll say that. It would get high-spirited. But we'd always agree to disagree on things, and we'd always, leave as friends. We'd always walk away after an evening as friends, and that was always very good. It was very beneficial, and, it was important. It was very important. So, yeah, I have to say that I learned great things about getting along with people and understanding where they come from and why they believe certain things that they do. And I always try and listen. I always do. I try to listen to what they have to say about something and not discount what they're feeling, but offer my opinion maybe if solicited. And then, we all can see things from different angles, and we come to agreement about a lot of things. We understand we have more in common than we don't. But what I'm driving at is that, I see a lot of posts on social media and a lot of ultimatums being made, and a lot of people saying that they're not going to be with their family for Thanksgiving or because of their political beliefs. And I think that's really flying in the face of what the first Thanksgiving was about. The indigenous people could have said, yeah, forget you guys, we got our meal over here. Go get cold. Yeah, we don't care about you guys. You guys aren't here invited. You guys just showed up. Well, they didn't. You know, they didn't, and the Puritans could have been the same way. They could have been very nasty, but there was a moment in time where they both gathered things together and had a very simple meal. Now we have, a traditional meal of turkey and candied yams and a bunch of wonderful meal items, but what they actually had in authenticity, can't say it was as lavish as what we enjoy now. I would imagine some dishes have some roots to that first Thanksgiving, but I don't think they were as they are now. Of course not. They didn't have marshmallows back then for candied yams. But anyway, the whole idea is putting differences aside and breaking bread with people that you may or may not ordinarily agree with. And if you have family that's politically divided, then that's your opportunity to build that bridge and exercise the spirit of the actual holiday, I would say. That's my opinion. That's my take on things. Now, that being said, I sadly don't have a lot of immediate family around anymore. My father is still here in town. My brother lives outside of the state. I don't see him nearly as often as I'd like. And I have a lot of family in Arizona and Utah. And we don't get together very often. I got to see them back in August, but that was because of my mom's funeral. And, my mom's gone now. And I still have a grandma. She's up there in the years. She's 96. And I have some aunts that live not too far away, but, nobody feels like getting together and having a Thanksgiving anymore. It's a lot of work. And we haven't had a Thanksgiving as a family for many years, And so lately, the last couple of years, I spent it at friends' houses. They say, "Oh, you don't have any plans? So come on over. Let's have a Thanksgiving dinner just with my family, our family, whatever." So they involved me in their family, and I always appreciated that, and it meant a lot to me. And that's something I'm very grateful for is good people. Good people with genuine hearts and sincere love for one another, and that's something I am very, very grateful for. I'm grateful for my channel. I'm grateful for the subscriber base that I have, that I enjoy, the comments and the interaction with some of you guys. And I'm grateful for the opportunity I've had this year to meet some of you guys. And just from one question left in a comment a few videos back led me to a new friend. That's right. He came up here and I sold him a high-low, and now he texts me about lanterns and shares pictures of his lanterns that he's collected already now with the one I sold him. And great guy, really cool guy, great conversations. And I make new friends ever so often, and it's always surprising how that happens. But this stuff has a lot to do with it, I would say. It's interesting. Back in November, no, take that back. It was in December. It was last December, and I was with this wonderful woman that I'm now involved with. And it was the second time I saw her, and we were there talking after the dance, and some things came up about YouTube, and I confessed that I do a YouTube channel, and she was intrigued. She was like, "Oh, what is it about?" And I'm like, I'm very mindful that this content is not for everybody, and it's very niche. And so I was a little hesitant to tell her about my channel and what it's about, but I did. And she was really impressed, and she continued to say how she likes the smell of burning kerosene, that she used to have some oil lamps that burned kerosene and one time in her teens, and she was really into Victorian lifestyle, and she made Victorian style dresses and stuff like that. And I was just like, really? Wow, okay, well, that was a surprise, And I You hear that? Yeah, leaf blowers. Well, I'm grateful for them. How about that? Yeah, I'm grateful for the people that do landscaping because it's work that I don't like to do. I'm grateful for them that they have that that business, keep people's places, clean and free of dust and leaves and everything. So I'm grateful for those who choose that vocation. I am, and I know a lot of maintenance staff up at Griffith, and I'm very grateful for them. And they're beautiful people. They really are, truly, really down to earth, good people, and I'm very honored to know them. And yeah, it's the noise that I don't appreciate, that I don't like. It's not the people I don't like, it's the noise. That's what it really is. But anyways, I am really I'm really grateful for so much of this year. I've gotten to know some really amazing people, and I've gone out on a limb sometimes, and it's never been a bad decision. And I've always been honest and open about a lot of things, and it led me to a very interesting time of my life. And I didn't expect to be in the place that I am now. Sure, I would like to have maybe some more things in my life than I do now, but when I look at things from a distance, I step back and I look at things, how things are, it's not so bad. It's really not that bad. I have the love of a wonderful woman who shares a lot of things in common with me, and we have a lot of good times, and we have a lot of good laughs, and she's a really incredible person. I can't wait for you all to meet her. She's great. I have beautiful lanterns, and I share those with her, and she loves that. And Sunday night we just hang out in the garage and watch the movie on the iPad and burn some lanterns, and it was great. They had some snacks, and it was just really cool, just really nice. It was very cozy, and we do that. It's the simple things that really mean the most in many ways. And I am very grateful for her in my life, and I know she is grateful for me in her life, and she tells me all the time, and that's important. But I'm grateful for you guys too, and I'm grateful for the people I've met and the friendships I've cultivated because of this channel, and those in the Tubular Lantern group. And yeah, I hope that everybody can sit down around that table and appreciate everybody there for what they contribute. And a little bit of a challenge I'll extend. There's a lot of things happening in this world right now and in our country. Not everyone's on board with it. Not everyone approves or appreciates all of it. So let's leave that in the coat check room, shall we? Let's leave it on the master bedroom floor with all the rest of the coats this Thanksgiving. If you're having people over, you get the reference. But that's my challenge to you guys. Don't bring up politics or religion. Just don't. Our ancestors taught us that was something you just don't bring up in mixed company. It's a social faux pas. And I think it's very important to keep that in mind, because we can talk about a lot of different things besides those things. And that's the challenge I extend to you guys, my subscriber base, my friends. Focus on what you have in common and not what you don't. And with that being said, pass the potatoes. Enjoy your Thanksgiving however you see fit and with who you see fit. and the family that you're around, that you have around, and embrace them. They're not always going to be there. Spend that time and appreciate the time you have with them, because, you truly never know when you won't have that opportunity. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this little installment this Thanksgiving Day. Be grateful for the things you have. Pay attention to the things you have, and don't always look at what you don't, because you have a lot more things than you realize. Absolutely. So, until next week, enjoy yourself, enjoy a fun meal, and enjoy a nice slice of pumpkin pie with as much whipped cream as imaginable on that thing. Do it right. Enjoy it. And just keep your family and friends close. And, everything will be okay. All right. We'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Sit, boo boo, sit. Good dog.